Well, evening everyone. It's really exciting to be speaking at the carol service. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam and I'm pastor of the Groves Church, which is a church plant out of All Saints. We're doing lots of joined up Christmas stuff together, so it's a real pleasure to be speaking to you this evening. Now, I wonder if over the course of the last few weeks that maybe a loved one or someone at work, or perhaps someone you've gone on one of those sort of late night, quite cold walks with just to see, has mentioned to you or used that classic annual phrase, "Are you feeling Christmassy yet?" I know that for many of us, it's a weird time, it's been a weird year, and we're definitely not feeling Christmassy yet. And actually, sometimes I wonder, what do we even mean when we ask that question, are you feeling Christmassy? And I wonder tonight if we could just unpack that sense of feeling Christmassy a little bit more. Just roll with me here for a minute. If I ask you to think of a magical Christmas moment, I wonder where you go in your head. I know that for some of us, we think of a Christmas that we never actually experienced for ourselves. We get Victorian silhouettes and skating on the Thames, dragging trees through the street, hearing the leak of whispered carols from the church door. There's snow on the ground, but everyone has warmth in their hearts as they skip around and say Merry Christmas to each other and tip their caps. But I know for many of us, if we look back and think of a magical Christmas, we're drawn back to memories. And in those memories, we feel safe and we feel loved and we feel like we're part of something so much bigger than ourselves. There's an intangible sort of magic in the air. And I imagine perhaps that you went back to a time maybe singing carols in front of the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve, or hanging up your stocking with all that excitement in your heart, or on Christmas Day sitting round the table and looking at loved ones as they heartily laugh at some awful cracker joke. These are special moments, and it's interesting that Christmas is the only time of year that seems to draw us back. It tugs on our memory. It's nostalgic in quality. And what we do, I think, as we grow up from those memories that we have, is we try in some way to recapture those moments where we felt safe and loved and like everything was magical and like we were part of something so much bigger than ourselves. And so we try as we might to recreate those moments in some way. So when the sofa company says, if you buy our sofa, we're going to provide some of that nostalgic magic that you're looking for. Or we listen to the technology company which says, if you buy our product, our pitch is that you're going to enter back into that Christmas joy you once felt. Or we, under the guise of taking our children, attend as many light up events as we can, just to see if we can capture that moment of magic again. I read an article recently that said even adult advent calendars are on the rise. A taste of gin, a new taste of gin every day. Now that will certainly transport you somewhere. I'm not quite sure it's the magical, nostalgic past of Christmas. And these are beautiful moments that some of these things can create. But it is like sand through our fingers. It's gone, it can't be held, and it never quite delivers in the way that we remember it once did. And I want to argue that this is because we've forgotten how to wonder. We've forgotten how to stop and look in awe. See, I think what we're looking for in that Christmassy feeling is wonder. That is what Christmas time awakens in us again. Jewish theologian Abraham Heschel suggests this. He says the awareness of grandeur and wonder has all but disappeared in our present age. Our educational system stresses the importance of controlling and exploiting reality, of deriving power from knowledge, but there is little education for wonder, for the sublime. We carefully teach our children how to measure and weigh and spell, but we fail to teach them how to revere, how to admire, how to appreciate. The sense of wonder and awe, a sense for the sublime. It's such a rare gift. Without it, the world becomes flat and the human person hollow. Something that little children are so good at is being present in the moment and seeing everything through the eyes of wonder. But unless we practice that, unless we actively choose to enter into that, it's something we very quickly grow out of. Jesus said, "Very truly I tell you, that unless you become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." Now, is Jesus saying here that he wants mindless, gullible, unintellectual followers? Well, I don't think we'd ever accuse our children of being any of those things, and that is not what Jesus is saying here. Jesus instead is challenging us to remember something that we've forgotten. Something that children do so naturally, which is to be present. To know that they are part of something bigger than themselves, that includes them and yet at the same time eclipses them. It's to live with the lens of wonder. Haven't you ever noticed how everything is magical to a child? I mean, do you remember the first time you came home with that pot that said Cress on it that your teacher had given you? And you put it on the windowsill and you went to bed that night and you ran downstairs in the morning, and every morning after that just looking to see if little green shoots had shot up a little bit more. It was unbelievably exciting. And guess what? It still is exciting. The only difference is that we look at it through a different lens now. We've forgotten the lens of wonder. But we grow up. And we grow out of wonder. And we say things like, well, obviously, I'm a person of science. And as wonder cannot be measured, it can't be tested, it can't be useful. Therefore, it probably doesn't even exist. And yet, we know that isn't true, because deep down somewhere, in the back of some nostalgic Christmas memory, it's there. Our personal testimony of wonder. Now, I love science. I think it is a pursuit driven by wonder. Think of all the amazing things that have taken place, all the discoveries that humanity has made over the last 100 years. Unbelievably mind-blowing. You know, I'm staggered by the amount of things that are going on, the processes that are going on, even as I speak to you. I'm converting oxygen into CO2. My brain is sending signals to my hand to gesticulate as I talk. My mind is processing information and sending it out in sound waves, which is being caught by microphones and then blasted out of speakers in your front room, and your brain is translating them. And that is just a drop in the ocean of the processes that are going on in me and in you, not to mention the birds flying overhead, or the flowers that have been photosynthesizing today, or the rivers and oceans that teem with life. There is so much going on. It is mind-blowing and wondrous. And yet it is still so easy to look and to decide that they're just processes. There's nothing other. There's nothing wonderful about them. Philosopher Walker Percy writes that we are the only civilization in history which has enshrined mediocrity as its cultural ideal. In other words, we're the first group of people in the history of humanity who have decided that meh will do. Perhaps it's maybe. I'm not that bothered if it is or isn't. Maybe this is just how it is. I know that you and I don't really think that. Deep down, we're not willing to settle for that. We're always looking for more. We're not satisfied with meh. We long to wonder at the world. We long to be part of something bigger than ourselves that personally includes us and in the same moment eclipses us. Wonder happens when we stop and stare and allow things to unfold before us as we wait. We just forgot how to stop. We forgot how to stare. We forgot how to wait in order for beauty and wonder to reveal themselves to us. I was cycling to school the other day with the kids and was struck by the most stunning winter sunrise. I mean, it had filled the whole sky. It was painted with this sort of golden orange. It was incredible. I said, look, stop, kids. Look at this. Look at this sky, isn't it amazing? And we were wowing and woeing, and I noticed lots of other people just cycling and walking past, passing up this opportunity to stop and wonder and appreciate the work of the artist. So let me encourage you, on your walk home from work, stop and stare at that winter sunset. As you put out the bin, stop, look up into that darkened sky and marvel at the glories of the heavens. And stop with me now and look in wonder at the baby in the manger. Vulnerable, defenseless, beautiful. God is on the earth. God is on the earth. God is on the earth. This is a moment of wonder and awe. God is with us. God is for us. God is here to rescue us. And as we stop and we look in wonder at the baby in the manger, a feeling starts to come over us. And it's not there because we purchased something, or we visited somewhere, or we organised something. It's there because we looked at him. Because that Christmassy feeling, well, it has a name. And it has a body. And it has a story. And his name is Jesus. And as you stop and you look at Jesus and you wonder and marvel at who he is and all he has done, you will hear him, you will see him invite you into a deeper reality, a whole new way of seeing and understanding the world around you, released into wonder like you've never known. As he says, I'm here, and I love you, and I came to save you, I came to know you, I came to walk with you, be with you in the darkest moments, celebrate you in the joyous moments, and open a way of possibility, hope, and future before you. We enter into the wonder of relationship with the God who created all things. So friends, don't settle for mediocrity. Listen to the depths of yourselves that are longing for so much more. Jesus says, I have come that you might have life and have it to the full, have it abundantly. Now, this isn't a life without problems, but it is a life that is satisfied, truly satisfied in him. It is a life that is full of possibility and hope, where we see with new eyes, where the cress pot becomes exciting again, where we start to see, wow, wonder all around us. Where we live a life in relationship with the one who created us and who created all things, who longs to take our hand now, walk with us through this life and into eternity. This is what is on offer from Jesus tonight. So this Christmas, don't miss the opportunity to look in wonder at the baby in the manger. But that baby has a story. That baby grew up. He transformed lives, restored lives around him. He died on the tree. He rose again from the dead, and he opened the door to anyone and everyone who wants to walk through it, know him, know life, and walk in a whole new reality. And so he asks you tonight to remember what you once knew and have long forgot. That actually being a child and full of wonder is exactly what we need to remember in order to enjoy that Christmassy feeling. That Christmassy feeling being Jesus himself. Merry Christmas.